Turn this on this minute.
Okay. 4 more minutes.
We know me and the end of the day.
I totally want to.
Right.
He did. He lost your or it's been in the hospital. Be somebody saying I found that
Here.
Right.
So he followed that go and went across and doing that.
Right.
So when you get back to this, they got what's that?
And you were supposed to live. Actually, does the
That was a whirlwind to me because I hadn't done it.
it's floating over the
Circle, I guess, but it was
financial. Let me get it.
and then everything came by. CP5.
Huh? Oh. Thank you. Oh, okay. That one, that is sharing colors, which is Rosenwald.
Says,
I wish,
when
because
was
I'm
it?
trying to get.
When was it?
I don't know. The traffic, they were inside. But to be on, they were fixed look. Everything that was. So my keep it going.
They did it too.
And now it's, the wood is encroaching. It was in pretty good shape.
When I took the picture of it was,
But now,
it only takes a little bit of manpower.
that is true, that is true. I wish we could, and then put people in
And find
there.
out, voting is, I'm asking for permission to research that because I think it would be.
It may be.
I think.
But now those law schools have a particular design. They face a certain way with windows on one side, on the east side, so that the sun. Hello? Where is he right now? Call me in about 5 minutes. I don't have my here.
Thanks.
Oh, yes. But help yourself, come on. That's
Did you talk to Johnson then?
I talked to her yesterday, she was going out, someone in the
Church.
yeah. Because I know she was thinking something about, and that's, you have to sit down. There's a work from.
That's right. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Whenever, Miss Diana, whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay. Y'all in?
I'm not 100 folks that showed up on time for the late. So just let me know when you're ready for me to
Okay.
introduce you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Introduce myself. My name is Diana Powell. I am the Executive Director of Justice Serve in North Carolina, also the statewide outreach coordinator for Second Chance Alliance and collaboration with CSI and SCAT. I'm here to walk y'all through getting your driver's license restored. How many have been in court or have a ticket that you have fines and fees that have not been paid? Well, just in case you got friends that, that are out there that are driving and knowing that they have not gotten their business taken care of in our judicial system. So I'm going to educate you so you can kind of educate them and exactly what they need to do. Because North Carolina is one of those states, this is about money, right? So they can get your money, they got you, right? And so we find so many of our people that are entangled in our criminal justice system. Our mission at Justice Serve is to prevent individuals from continuing in our criminal justice system, right? I was born and raised in Raleigh. I'm a grandmother of 4. I worked in the prison system for 10 years. I was correctional lieutenant. When I decided to leave, I also traveled with Dr. Juanita Bynum. I was one of her logistics persons that set up Arbor Table Hospital. And then also I worked at St. Augustine's College in political history, political science, right? And my niece was involved in a high profile case. I was home on vacation, and then I got a call that my niece got involved with her best friend over $40, and they got in a fight. And they took the fight outside of the club, and while they was outside, my niece's friends decided to go in the car and pull out guns, and they were going to shoot him. One of the bullets went into the fire department, went over a fireman's head. If he had rose up, it probably would have shot and killed him. Right? And so the first thing my niece's friend said, Trish did it. And so, of course, the police looked for Trish and riding all around the city. So when they finally got her, they charged her with discharging the firearms in the city limits, discharging the firearms in an occupied building, underage drinking, fight. They just stacked it for her, right? How to do. And so when she first called me, she said, Auntie, I did not pick up a gun. I did not shoot a gun, right? Yes, I was been drinking. Yes, I was fighting, but the other stuff I didn't do. They put her on a $50,000 bond. And, of course, we ain't got no money. So we did some fundraising, And so we were able to raise up the money and get her out. Show you how the judicial system works, right? And so the whole time she's saying, I'm not guilty. North Carolina is a plea deal state, right? The first thing they want to bring to you is a plea deal. Take this plea, and so they offer her 5 to 8 years. Pretty single mom, never been in trouble, any of that. And so we went on up from district court to superior court, right? By the time we got in superior court, I finally asked our public defender, do you believe in Trish? Right? Do you believe in what she's saying? She said no. So I'm like, you are not in our people. Right? Because we need somebody that's going to advocate for her, especially if she's telling you she did not do this. Now, working in the prison system, I have worked with individuals. Everybody is in prison is not guilty.
That's right.
Right? They just did not know how to navigate through that criminal justice system. Right? And I was determined that my niece was not going to be one of those people that went to prison for something she did not do. Right? And so finally, I saw, sitting in the courtroom and just watching, I saw how the district attorney and her public defender were engaged with each other, right? So I knew that there was a strong relationship there somewhere. And so finally, when we came back outside, I just told the public defender, I don't care what you got to do, but you and your friend need to have a conversation about my niece and her innocence, right? And she was like, oh. Like, who you think you are? And so about an hour or two later, she did come back. They did come back with a good plea. They took away all of that violent stuff, and she got probation, right? Went on, and now she's in healthcare, doing really well. But just imagine if I had not been standing here, right? My niece will probably be just getting out of prison right now, right? And so, saying all that, our judicial system, it is a system, right? And that's what we have to educate our community on, how to navigate through that criminal justice system, right? And so, with that being said, we did it. There was a shooting, a police officer murdered in Wake County, Raleigh, and this was during the George Floyd time. And so, they was riding and doing all this, right, when a police officer shoots and kills one of us. And so this is what happened in Raleigh. Everybody wanted to get together and want to go down and burn downtown up. Right? So I kind of got in front of it, and everybody was out there, and I kind of said, "Hold, wait, we're not going to burn our city up. We're going to be very strategic about this, and we can get what we want. We just got to be smart about it, right?" And so they kind of listened, and then the next thing I know, I had gotten a call, and it was on BET. It was just nationwide, where they were down. And so then I finally got a call from my district attorney, Lauren Freeman, and at the time, I think, no, he was Superior Court Judge, Judge Vince Rozier. And so we decided to sit down, we had breakfast, and then they said, I think we can do an expungement, right? And I was like, okay, what's that? And how does it work? It sounds good. And then so, they said, well, give us a few days and we'll figure it out. And then they called back and they said, yes, I think we can do an expungement clinic, right? But there was one thing that they said, we got a problem with it. And I'm like, what is that? And they said, you are connected to the community, so you can get the people. Right, find them. So we went on a 3-week campaign, and we pre-registered individuals to see even if they qualified for an expunction, right? And on top of that, they connected the driver's license restoration program. And so in 3 weeks, how many people do you think we pre-registered? 15. Okay. Over 1,000. 15? 5. Anybody else? How about 3,159 people? So what does that say? We got a lot of people that are entangled in this system. That's right. We got to figure out a way to get them untangled, right? And so that's when we did the second chance lobby. I was trying to pull all that up. Our second chance lobbying with Dennis Gaddy, who he is re-entry second chance. Don't care what nobody says.
That's right. That's right.
And so with that started the part of the movement, right? And I always say it's not a moment, it's a movement. We have our moments, right? But how do we keep this thing moving? It takes people like us going down and talking to our legislators and telling them, hey, we got a problem. We got to change something, right? And so that's how our Second Chance Act bill came into place. And it was bipartisan, 44-0, it passed. So this is the reason why we are able to do what we do. Go around and talk to people about how to get your driver's license restored, how to get records expunged. Now, did we get everything we wanted?
No.
Of course not, right? So that's why we got to continue to work. We got to continue to go back before these legislators, these lawmakers. And then, and that's how the movement is. Because Mavis can't do it by herself. I can't do it by myself. Dennis can't do it by himself. So when you hear that clarion call, come on, we're going down to the legislators, right?
Yeah.
We have to pack up and get ready to go.
That's right.
Right? Because when they see us coming, right? Because they don't know our story like we know our story. Right? They sitting up there making laws on what they think they know.
Right.
Right? But when you got somebody like you sitting in their office and saying, look here, I cannot move forward because this is on my record. Right? And so that's how it works. We cannot sit idly by and think somebody else is going to do it or it's going to fall out the air. It's going to be magic. We can wave a magic wand and make everybody's problems go away. It's not going to happen.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
I know at least 3 people. They lost their license and they got jobs that require for them to commute to work, and their main concern is, and they're catching the devil trying to get at least a work permit to drive from work. So North Carolina's like, you don't care, we rather see you unemployed, lose your job,
Right.
or for those 2 years or that 1 year is up. So when I found out when you got a system that's creating hardship in the community, then crime is gonna kick in.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not gonna sit there and stop it there. If there's a food pantry right next door, I'll break in.
Yeah.
I gotta eat to survive. So then people, even the honest people, they go into survival mode.
Right.
Because I was like that years ago. I had a job that I lost my ass to just being cocky at speed. Paying all the tickets, and I found out that on that morning, instead of going, just pay the fine, or just pay it, don't ever do that. Go to the prosecutor and say, look, something, my speed alarm on, I got 4 different tires of the shit in my speed. I'm willing to, you can have the money. If you want to charge me extra $20, I'm willing to plead guilty to improper speeding, the equipment. And that way it doesn't go into your insurance, it doesn't raise your insurance design, it does not affect your driving record. It's like, basically, it's like getting a parking lot ticket. And what most people do, they pay it and then you keep paying these tickets. So what, 2-3 months later, then you're going to get something in the mail say, hey, your license will be.
And those are those collateral consequences. It snowballs. Go ahead.
Let me say, sir, that everything you said is absolutely true. Been doing this work like 21 years now, in and out. And not only in North Carolina, particularly North Carolina, not only North Carolina, society has a forgiveness problem.
Yeah.
Right? They make it hard to do the right thing.
Right.
Right? And if you make it hard to do what's right, you make it easy to do what's wrong.
Right. Exactly.
Right? So, but the people who say, the heck with that law, I'm going to drive anyway, because I got to go to that job, I got to drop my kids off at daycare, whatever. But see, they just run back into more trouble because they get driving while license revoked ticket. They get another fine. So it's just double trouble when you do that. That's why down in college.
Yeah. And I mean, I thought that's the hard one.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we thought, because we know that people get entangled that way. And long as they feel like they got that hook on you, how long do you got to serve that for that one mistake? And then that one mistake into another mistake. Dr. William Barber always say poverty is the fourth leading cause of death. Right?
Yeah.
So we can't eat, we can't get our medicine, we can't do none of this stuff. What will it lead to? No longer being here. Right? So I need y'all to watch this. I mean, all the way out. Okay, we get over it though. So, maybe she might see you. How many of y'all have ever been to Lobby Day? That is an experience. That is an experience that each and every one of y'all need to experience. We normally have it every second Tuesday in May.
Early May.
Early May. Yeah. And then it's in Raleigh. So while we're waiting on that, I need you all to fill these out.
And it's after legislature.
Yeah, that is. That's good. And need a learner to apply for you, that's fine. It's just a general information. I had it, guess it's one. Yeah. There it is.
The way we celebrate it now is very specific to the indigenous people who celebrate their women.
Yes. Right.
Maybe.
On May 2nd.
Hey, well,
We are not group effective by the criminal legal system. We are a community of people who believe in the power of second chances. Second chance lawfare aims to bring awareness to the issues surrounding the criminal legal system and the need for change. We are here to advocate for policies that support second chances and ensure that our words are not heard by those who will make a difference.
We believe that the police are safer when all of us have access to the resources and opportunities and just to know ourselves and our own.
For too long, the system has been focused solely on punishment rather than restoration, redemption, or recovery. The result has been a system that has destroyed them and community rather than healing. But today, we are standing up. Today, we are saying, enough is enough.
Our need for second chances. Join us in yoga today, and the system should start.
Okay, so who's for second chances?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, yes.
Third, fourth.
Third and fourth.
Right.
Sometimes our second chance need a second chance. Right, okay, so let's dive into the driver's license piece. So you can go back and tell your people that there are some people that are out here that are really serious about this fight.
Are you one of more than 300,000 Indians in North Carolina?
300,000 people.
Their driver's license in it. That's just local. You get more options than you think. Resolve traffic debt in sync. Walk in your television for traffic debt so you can reclaim your driver's license or prevent it from being suspended in the first place. We'll help you navigate the new system so you can get your license and your indemnity. Just click on the button that describes your situation. Either you want to restore suspended license or prevent your license from being suspended. The site walks you through how to fill out a form that asks the court to review or even eliminate your traffic ticket. You'll need to file the form at the courthouse and possibly in the court. Then you'll wait for the court to rule on your motion. And you need to elect you. Everyone deserves access to the meaningful opportunities we all need to thrive. Visit resolvetrafficdebt.org and learn more. While you're there, consider sharing your story to help improve North Carolina's driver's license strengthening law.
And what I'm handing out, this handout is exactly what that video was talked about. And you can look at it yourself.
You like fishing as much as I do, No, you need the bearskin hoodie. This thing has 10 pockets, and it's perfect for doing stuff outdoors.
You need the bearskin tactical hoodie 4.0 to get comfortable with water. It's the ultimate 10-pocket utility hoodie for fishing, golf, hunting, camping, boating, or conquering foreign lands. Thousands of men trust the bearskin hoodie to watch
Because what's going to happen is what I normally do, I give, where you basically it's tools to help people to go back into the courtroom and ask the judge to remit their fines and fees, right? So how do you do that? Because you just can't go in there and say, yo, Ms. Powell said I can come down here and get my license back. No. We got to speak their language, right? And so, because if you talk, you say, hey, I'm here to file my motion. I want to be able to go back before the judge and ask the judge to remit my fines and fees. And it's just a simple motion. It's called the AOC 415, right? And you file that motion, and I got a copy of it.
Loads of 5-star reviews on classified. This constant. Don't average neighborhood saves useless. Like wearing trash bags.
Okay.
That's why we don't.
This is the motion. This is what it looks like. And
strength, storage.
you can do it yourself versus getting an attorney, because you know what the attorney going to do? Charge you. Right? Because they also are part of that system. They want that money.
The ultimate 3-in-1 travel jacket.
And so normally, you know, what I tell people, when you have a court, when you have a ticket, right? You have to file one of these for each ticket that you have. Right? So, for example, if you got a ticket in Harnett County and you got a ticket in Wake County, right? You have to file this motion in that county, right? You just can't file it in Harnett County and think it's going to take care of Wake County, right? Doesn't work that way. There, and I tell people, don't get intimidated. If you got 10, 5, 10, don't get intimidated. Do it, right? Go ahead and do it. Handle your business. I had one guy that had 30 tickets. And at that time, we were doing, in Wake County, they required us to do 3 copies for each ticket. Can you imagine how much people work that was? I thought we nonprofit, we ain't no money. But anyway, I sat down in the courthouse with him. We went through every 30 ticket that he had. By the time we got up to the clerk to file it, he only had 2. All of them had already been, they were so old, they had already been dropped off. Right? And that's why I say our people, we suffer from the lack of knowledge. Yes. Right? We thinking we got all of this, and it may not be that. Or we may think, I ain't got nothing, I'm good. Then you go down there, you got a whole bunch of stuff. Right? So I always encourage people, go ahead and go through the process. Now, the court system and DMV is 2 different systems. Right? And they don't talk to each other. Right? A person may say, well, I got my license suspended, so I'm going to go to DMV and, you know, do whatever I got to do to get my license. Time you get to DMV say, stop. You better go back over there to that courthouse because you owe the court system some fines and fees. So I always tell people, start first at the courthouse, right? Start with that motion, right? And then you'll know what direction I need to go in, right? And so we do have an attorney that helps us walk through this stuff.
Down in,
and it teaches us how to
say 250th Street, something.
how to fill the motion out. Emily Meester is one of the attorneys that started out with us. That's her.
This video is about how to fill out a Form 415, which is also known as a request for relief from fines, fees, and other monetary obligations. It is used to request the waiver of fines and fees owed on a previously disposed ticket, most often in traffic cases. Today, we're going to go through just how to fill it out online. The first thing you want to do is you want to type in the case number for the case that you are requesting.
And you can do this online.
So, for instance, that's
But
going to
always,
be
people don't come to class, we do it right there.
00, and then it's going to be either CR, CRS, or IF. For this example, I'm just using CR, and then I'm just going to type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The important thing to know about this is that you need to complete and submit a form for each individual case number that you are requesting relief. You cannot combine case numbers on a single form. Next, you're going to check the box regarding whether it's in district or superior court. If your letters in your case number are CR or IF, then that is district court. If your letters in your case number are CRS, then that is superior court. Next, you want to come over here and fill in the county for this case number. So, for this example, I'm just going to type in Boone. Next, you're going to tab down. You're going to fill in the name of the defendant, Joe Smith, in this case. You're going to then complete the defendant's telephone number, date of birth, and the street address. This information is very helpful in that any notice regarding hearing is going to be mailed to this street address. If you do not have an address, then you can check the box for I am homeless. You're going to go over here to the attorney box, and you're going to check the box that says I am self-represented. That means that you are proceeding on your own without the assistance of an attorney. Next, you're going to look down here in the employment income. They're asking for the information in a per month status, so not weekly or biweekly, but monthly. They're also asking you to list your employer. There's also a checkbox here if you are unemployed. So, for instance, let's say that you work for PetSmart. You're going to type PetSmart in here, and then you're going to go over here and you're going to type in how much money you make per month. So, for instance, $1,500. Then you hit tab, and it adds the 0.00 for cents. The next box is other income per month. This, for instance, is rental income. If you own a house that you rent to another person, and that person pays you rent. But other options are spouse's income and gifts and financial support from family. For instance, if you are married and your spouse works, this is the portion where you put that. So let's say that your spouse also works at PetSmart. Then we can add PetSmart and spouse in parentheses. And then you want to add your spouse's income. We'll say for this example, $1,000 per month. The next question is how many people, including yourself, does this income support? So when you're calculating that number, you count yourself as one. Then you add to that number the additional people that supports. For instance, if it's you and your spouse and 2 children, 1, 2, then you have a total of 4. You, your spouse, and your 2 children. So then you want to add that number to that block. The next question is, what is the total value of your cash on hand and in bank accounts? This means how much cash do you have that you have now and in a bank account? Let's say, for purposes of this example, $50. The next question is, what is the total value of all real property you own? Real property means houses, apartments, condos, things that you own, not things that you rent, but things that you own. This does not include a house where you pay a mortgage. So we will put 0 in that box. The next question is, what is the total value of all major personal property you own? It says parentheses, vehicles or jewelry. The important distinction in this question is that most people do not own their vehicles. Most people are still paying or making a monthly payment on that vehicle. So for instance, if you purchased your vehicle from a car lot and you finance that vehicle and you have to pay a certain amount per month towards that vehicle, then that means that you do not own that vehicle for the purposes of this question. So we're going to put 0 over here. Next question is rent or mortgage that you pay monthly. So how much do you pay for rent or mortgage for the residence that you live in? And that includes if you live with another person, perhaps a roommate, and you only pay a portion. Perhaps you pay $200 and your roommate pays $200. Or perhaps you pay the entire rent yourself. So you want to put that amount in this slot. So we'll put $750. And then this question says, next one is child care or child support payments that you pay monthly. So if you have a child support obligation that you're required to pay on every month, then you want to put that number here. If in the alternative or in addition, you pay child care expenses, then you want to put that number here. So for instance, say that you have a child, that child lives with you, or in this example, Joe Smith and his spouse live together with 2 children. Say one of those children is school age and one of those children is in child care, and they pay $500 a month for the child care for the youngest child. So 500 goes in this box. Now, the next portion is a checkbox section. It says, I receive the following public assistance. Your choices are TANF, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, Supplemental Security Income, also known as SSI, Social Security Disability Insurance, known as SSDI, SNAP or food stamps, or veterans benefits. In the next column, you have a series of statements. If any of these apply to you, then check them. First one is I have been homeless in the past 6 months. Second is I have been incarcerated on an active sentence in the past 6 months. Third is I am under 18. And fourth is I am a full-time student. So for instance, in our example, let's say that Joe Smith and his family received food stamps and that he or his spouse were incarcerated on an active sentence in the past 6 months. So we're going to check both of those boxes. Now, the next box states, use the space below and provide any additional information about other circumstances the court should consider when evaluating your ability to pay, such as a disability or illness, a change in work hours, or other support obligations or significant expenses. In this portion, I would recommend that you include any educational debt that you have, such as student debt for prior education. I would recommend that you also include any medical debt. So if you have hospital bills from a previous medical crisis and that debt is outstanding, I would recommend you include that here as well. I would also recommend that you include how much you pay for utilities. That includes your cell phone. I would also recommend how much you pay for transportation. So in that block, you would include car insurance, how much you pay for car insurance. If you have a car payment, how much you would pay for your car payment, and how much you would spend on gas or fuel. Lastly, I would recommend that you include information here regarding if you have child support obligation, if you typically pay child support. For instance, if you are in arrears, meaning you owe old child support, I would include that information here as well. The court typically would rather have your money going to pay child support arrears than paying court debt. In addition, if you have children, if you have dependents, and you do not receive child support for any of those dependents, I would recommend you also include that information here. What you're trying to do is paint as thorough as possible a picture of your financial obligations to give the court the ability to make the determination whether or not you can pay the debt that's accrued. Next, we'll scroll down to page 2. The top portion is the request for motion. This is the portion where you ask the court for what you want. So your checkbox, it's a checkbox thing. Your first box is that the court allow relief from all costs, fines, fees, and restitution to the extent allowed by law. The second box is that I've given until at least, and then you fill in the date here, to pay any imposed monetary obligations. And then your third option is a payment plan requiring a total money payment of no more than X dollars per month. Your first box is if you're asking the court to remit all of the money that you owe. Your second box is if you want to pay the money that you owe, but you need more time to pay it. And your third box is if you would like a payment plan, and you can determine how much money you can afford to pay. So perhaps you look at your financial circumstances, you believe that you can pay $20 per month, and you want to pay your debt, then you would fill in $20 per month here and check the third box. Then you're going to date and print your name here, and then you're going to sign your name here. Now, the important part of this is that this document needs to be notarized. What that means is that do not sign this document until you are in front of a notary. You need to take this completed but unsigned document and a valid photo ID with you to a notary. Notaries are typically found in banks and UPS stores. You can also sometimes find them in attorneys' offices. Once there, the notary will review your valid photo ID and then witness you as you sign the document. Then the notary will complete this portion of the document. Now, this can also be signed at the clerk's office. So you don't have to necessarily go to a bank or a UPS store. If you're going to file it in court, you can actually take it to the clerk's office, and the clerk can witness you signing this document. The next portion of this document is a certificate of service section. This document, because it is a motion in a previously disposed case, requires that the district attorney receive a copy of this document. So typically, you're going to go to the district attorney's office first. So you're going to get it signed in the clerk's office or with a notary. Then you will go to the district attorney's office. You're going to want to take 2 to 3 copies of this document with you. I generally would recommend 3 copies. So go to the clerk, sign it, go to the district attorney's office, and serve them with a copy. They will fill out the appropriate box, which can be leaving a copy with an employee of the district attorney, and then the person can print their name here. It can be by mailing a copy. I would generally not recommend that for these types of motions because it is a relatively new process. You can, and then once you have served the district attorney's office with their copy, you're going to date. You're going to write your name here as the name of the person serving, because you are serving the district attorney's office. Then you are going to sign the document here, and you're going to check defendant. Then you're going to take the 2 copies that remain, because 1 copy will stay with the district attorney's office. You're going to take the 2 copies that remain back down to the clerk's office to file them. There is no fee when you're filing this document. So the 2 copies will go to the clerk's office. They will stamp both copies, and the second copy, 1 copy stays with the clerk, and 1 copy should come back to you as documentation that it has been filed. Different clerk's offices have different processes on when these are scheduled. Sometimes the clerk will give you the date that it is going to be calendared at the time you file it. So you file it, and they will say, this case will be calendared on August 6th. Make sure you're here. You will make sure you will need to appear, in court on that court date so that the judge can review your request. In other offices, in other clerk's offices, they will accept your form and then they will mail you documentation of when the hearing gets scheduled. That is why it is so important that the address that is listed here at the top of the form is a correct address. It is also very important that if your address changes, that you make sure to contact the clerk's office to update the address that they have for you on this form. Once everything is filled out, served on the district attorney's office, and filed in the clerk's office, then you will be required to appear in court on your scheduled court date so that the judge can review your motion and make a decision. Judges may have questions about the information that you have provided, so it is very important that you not miss that court date.
Okay, y'all have any questions? Have any questions? One thing about the motion is I
You're
always
unsure
tell,
or unaware of your eyeglass
tell
prescription, or if your prescription changes frequently.
I always tell the class is in this box right here, when they say explain why you cannot afford to pay these, put all details, hardship, I can't eat at night, I'm sleeping outside, whatever. You're going to paint the picture that I cannot afford to pay this stuff, right? And then on the back it says, based on the information presented above, I make the following request that the court will release all court fines. Because you don't want to go in there, if you say, well, I can pay part, they're going to look for that part, right? But if they giving you the option to say, I want it all taken care of, why not check that out? Doesn't that make sense? Put it up there for a reason. Yeah. Because our advocacy work created this form, this motion. Wait a minute.
And the hardships box before that you're talking about, is about, especially if you've got a job that you can't go to work because you don't have a license. You should put that, that's a hardship.
Yeah. But all of that. And when I send the people that come to our class, when they go back, right, I always tell them, call me before you go into that courtroom, if you get a court date, right? Call me. Why? Because I write them a character witness letter and go with them in that courtroom.
It's the magic bullet, too.
That's the magic bullet. Everybody don't know this. You don't tell them. And it has worked. We have put a lot of people back to driving, right, because of these fines and fees, right? Because our people are going to drive anyway, right? And we don't know if they get stopped, what will the outcome be? Will you make it home safely? So we're going to eliminate that, right? And that's what it is trying to take these barriers that are keeping our people, preventing them from moving forward. Okay? I want to do a temperature check, how everybody's doing. Give me, I'm going to go around the room, give me your first name and give me one word of how you feeling right. Sorry.
Blaine, I'm feeling right. They cheap, go get my license. I had a, I don't know, I went through the process and everything, and it's just one thing supposed to be other.
Okay.
I drive direct to New Jersey.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Working on fine, but he said it was a little third party.
Okay. At the top of this right here, write down what you just told me. Right. I can make some calls up there to the DA's office, whatever county whatever area that it's in. I've done it. And they allowed them to get a license. Yeah. How you feel? Positive. Your name? Claire Batson. Positive. You got a card? You?
Well, really in charge.
One word, how you feeling? How are you feeling?
Great.
Great. Okay. Sharon, no. Good. Good. Check. Positive. Positive.
I'm gonna go last, it's gonna be a little long.
Okay.
Kendrick, by the time,
Determined. Good. Informed. How you feeling about it?
learn this information I can share with other folks.
I know that's right. Okay.
You and I have a lot in common. I used to live in Raleigh.
Okay.
Worked for the court system there, so I know Lauren Freeman. I know Judge Rozier, which is just a regular attorney. Also, like I worked in the prison. I'm currently a I'm currently a DMV examiner now. What else?
That's good.
I'm a product of all this because I've been charged, found not guilty, and I've been through the expungement process myself. And I'm the first African American magistrate in history for this county.
Oh wow. Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah, so my word would be ironic.
Wow. Okay. Wow. And I always believe that lived experience is one of the most powerful things you have, right? And so
you do a video.
Yeah. My lived experience is I drove for 10 years without my license. Wow. Why?
Never got caught.
Oh yeah, I got it. Right on time. The collateral consequences gotta keep snowballing.
Yeah,
And the reason why is because I could not afford to pay it. That was just it, right? And finally, sometimes it is all about who you know, right? So there was an attorney in the courtroom. He said, "This probably be a future life." I like, do whatever you gotta do, because I even tried to hire an attorney. It would have cost me $10,000 to get my license. Try for it. Whoa, really?
On top of the fees and fines.
On top of fees and fines, right? So there was an attorney. He said, "Let me try to help you get your license. Do whatever you can do." But Powell gonna keep right on driving. I gotta get away. But so he told me, he called me. He said, "Come on, girl, I got your court date. Come on down to the courthouse." I'm like, "Oh Lord, they're gonna lock me up." And and so he told me, he said, "You stay out here. Let me go in." Went in there, came back out. He said, "Go to DMV and pay $45 for your license." Oh, that was good. How many prayer for judgments you think you can get?
Was it two?
Two.
Ain't it one a year? Is it one every?
Sure.
Is it one every 2 years?
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Well, you can exchange them though. That's just like you can say you use a prayer for a judgment for a traffic charge, and then you may get a misdemeanor, something that's not traffic. You could use that prayer for judgment for that. So it just depends.
It just depends. I got 12 in one day.
Good.
Prayer for judgment, right? That's why I say it's good to be connected, do the right thing, treat people right. Favor will come, and I call that favor.
Yeah.
$45 to get my license back versus $10,000.
Yes.
That's a blessing.
So let me also say, people hear you different. They know you share the same story, right? So everything you just heard Ms. Powell say, if I was just hearing her for the first time, just meeting her for the first time, I said, I better listen. Excuse me. I better listen real good to her, what she's talking about.
Yes, sir.
And she's got lived experience. Right. So I'll be talking to her later on about my story, but at the same time, when she goes, she won't have to go to the court. Just the letter she's seeing. And the judge said, "Oh yeah, okay, you got Mr. Powell. I wrote you a letter. Yeah, you good." So listen up. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, because that. So the next step is, how do you get involved? Right? Because you can get involved. You can do the same thing that we've been doing.
Okay, the prayer judgment, what does that, when you get that, what does that mean? That means that you don't get another ticket, do it go away, or?
Goes away.
Just. So if someone goes in and put in for a prayer of judgment, yeah, they still pay the fine. It just goes away.
It goes away. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. We've done so many of them in Wake County. The judge they don't even have to come to court no more. They see justice served, they've been in the program or whatever. The judge, they just write a letter and just say, get a letter and say, your fines and fees have been remitted. That's called building relationships.
I know when I was younger, I had a traffic ticket and I used the prayer for judgment. But my, I guess what in my situation, I couldn't get another ticket for the next 3 years.
Really?
Now I don't know if it's changed since then, but I know when I did it, I couldn't get another ticket for the next 3 years. Or then the punishment that I would have received for that prayer, I would have to take that on.
Oh, really?
Right.
I don't know if it must have changed or that attorney went there and really worked some magic for them.
This was in the 90s.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying.
Isn't it like if you get a ticket, the next ticket, it comes back to haunt you? If you get a prayer of judgment, walk away from that.
Well, it's going to depend on the stipulation. She said it goes away. I know when I did it, my stipulation was I couldn't get another ticket within 3 years.
He didn't give me no stipulation, just saying, here, pay the $45, and he paid it.
Oh.
The lawyer paid it for it.
Okay.
The lawyer paid it for it. How can you become more active in what we do is become a member of Statute Change for Life, right? Remember what I said, we cannot do this work on our own. We cannot do this work alone, right?
Since you're saying that, how often do you get invites to do your presentations?
Well, we travel all over the state.
Don't have to find the places.
Just once a month, our office is
Yeah.
Monday.
Go to.
Okay.
First Monday, second Monday every month.
Second Monday, every month.
Well, where I was going with that, just think about how good this could be if all churches got involved. And yeah, I mean, it's like I said about myself, video, going around doing this stuff, trying to educate people. I should be busy every week.
Right.
You ought to have so many people calling you
They do.
that yeah. So that's good.
It's just
But I got to get down to Itcomb County because they
right. Yeah, we travel all over, and plus we have the home bases with CSI every second Monday of the month. I got one coming up Monday. That class is normally full. It's normally full, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I had that experience. I know what it feels like to have looking over your shoulder, praying and hoping those blue lights don't get you. Been there, done that. And very, what I say is, it's not a moment. It's definitely a movement. Because we've got a community that's out there that need us, right? To teach, lead, and guide, right? And especially in that climate that we're living in now with our younger generation, right? They don't want nobody to tell them what to do. They want everything real instant, just like that. There's nothing wrong with say pause. Let's sit and let's listen. And every time I can get them in that room, we got to teach them. And I always say, if nobody's there to teach and guide them, they will get lost quick in trying to find their own way. That's it for me, y'all. Do your evaluation, good, bad, ugly, whatever. Tell the truth.
Are you dealing with the expungements or the next?
Dennis.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he does most of that part.
Okay.
I just do the pre-registration, get people ready,
All right.
and then we send them on.
And on the second chance,
Yeah, just participate. When you hear that call, you say, oh, there's Live Day going on. Oh, Texas Alliance, they're doing something. I want to be a part of it.
You don't want to miss that piece. That's a whole nother piece that just empowers you and to be able to know that you can make a change. last year we sued the state of North Carolina because we wanted our rights to vote back.
Yeah.
Not that we lost our right to vote, but we wanted to enhance them. Because we wanted to say that you ought to be able to vote if you're out of prison, whether you're on probation or not. Because last time I checked, people who are out on probation, they're still working and paying taxes.
Yeah, right.
Right? So if you're paying taxes, you ought to have a right to the democracy in North Carolina.
That's right.
We didn't win it, but we got 4 of them down the road, and it was overturned by the Supreme Court of North Carolina, but we ain't done yet.
Okay, I also want to share an experience that was shocking. I retired from, did 13 years in North Carolina public school, and I went over to Virginia, did another 10 years, and then put up my retirement. Even though when I had several charges, I went to court. It was not guilty, not guilty. And so when I came back, sat out a year, then decided I was going to go in and help out with open meetings in public school. Somebody in DMV, not DMV, at the courthouse, when they did a background check, I thought they went back 7 years, but they didn't. They went back like so far as like in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Everything I had up there, like I had all those kind of charges that was dismissed, all that, had it like it was still pending. Like I had a whole bunch of warrants. And I had to actually go through the expungement program that Mason to get that cleared out. Even though when I went to work, when I pulled, I called the superintendent. I said, I said, something ain't right. And they said, well, there was never charged with, but still, if you're in one of them hostile, let's say I'm traveling down, because I love to travel down South Louisiana, I was going to go through one of them little rural, and you get pulled, and all that comes up, then, like I was telling a cop in these, then they can come up and they can turn very violent and ugly. They can say, I shot him because I was trying to, serve a warrant that he had outstanding warrants. And that never should have been in there. But this was done because they had a person that worked at the courthouse in Eaton, and the clerk of court said he's seen that before, but people had to go spend hundreds of dollars, some thousands to get that removed off. And for some reason, this one was trying to actually keep stuff on feet. Mainly, I'm assuming African American, so they can't, even though if I would say if North Carolina would have caught that, if I went, but when they put it up there like that, sometimes it draws a red flag. And they might not tell you, they might not tell that person other than just let that person go out there 1 year once that shows up, even though it's not violent. But those are some of the things that can do. And if I got stopped and got detained in another circle that showed up, they said, well, you was never served. They said, well, that showed up in the database as warrants. It was never served, should have been dismissed, or was dropped in court, but they kept it up there. Just like if you go to court right now, and she's charged for shoplifting, she go and beat it, said it won't even her. They keep it on her record. She had a shoplifting charge, you just stay up there, even though she was found not guilty. They might put it a little closer NC, but a lot of people won't catch that.
Yeah, that's your NC Aware system, and by our lobbying and with our Second Chance Act bill being passed now, and they held it for a year because they didn't want to do it, but the governor had signed off on it. All dismissed charges will automatically come off your record, right? So the legislators held it for a year, so we had to go do a study. We had to go with the administrative courts. I sat on that committee. And then finally they had to release it because the clerks were saying, it's too much work. We don't want to go back into what system we're going to use to go back and wipe all these dismissed charges out. But we stood our ground. The governor signed it into law. You got to do it. And they were complaining about, we ain't getting paid enough to do that. But you're still hindering people. If you can't do the job, get out the way.
Right. Still got to do your job.
Still got to do your job. So we finally got that into law.
So I'm be very hesitant to say what I'm about to say, but I feel like I'm trying to sell something. I'm really not. Here's the thing. 52% of everybody in the state, everybody in the country, has an ongoing legal problem at any given time.
Yep.
Right? So if there's one thing, so for instance, African Americans and white commit crimes at about the same rate. But you couldn't tell me any time in any courtroom in America if they walked into it every day of the week. That's right. You know why? Because if you're white and can afford a lawyer, you don't go to jail. Right? So for the last 20 years, my wife and my family have been connected to a product called Legal Shield. Don't pay it in mind, though. I'm not trying to sell it. But here's the deal. It gives me access to have a lawyer anytime I need to for $40 or $50 a month.
Yes.
Right? So everything you just said, my brother, it's because you got to have some access to a lawyer. Right? Otherwise, you're going to be in all kinds of problems. Not just criminal justice, but lines on your property. Something, right? So I just said that. Disregard my for sale, I'm just trying to make a point.
Yeah, it's good. Because we can so easily get, my grandma says it's easy to get in trouble, but it takes a lifetime to get out of it. Right? And people are, like I said, there are innocent people that are sitting in our prison and jails today. Right? False identity, sex charges, all that stuff is real. Somebody can misidentify you as somebody else. Next thing you know, you in the system.
Well, it's like the self-defense. I was reading where a 67-year-old grandmother was more than one time. It trapped a group of boys trying to carjack the pinned her in. She ran, they chased her. And then pinned her in and got out in the car. She had other boys. She popped one of them.
Yeah.
And she was looking at 10 years. This officer decided to charge her. And she was at she tried to get into her gated community, and they had pinned her in. And is it, I'm saying that, my thing is, do these cops that they're hiring, do they have good judgment? There's a way to test that they make, proper decisions. Because, she got shot. I mean, if someone come and shoot at me, come in my house and shoot them. Now, that's cases where people came in people's houses and attacked them. People end up going to jail. And I'm sorry, I'm like this. If someone breaks in my house and I get to get them, I'm not calling 911. I'm going to get a shovel and get a
You can legally.
I mean, because it might take the next 10 years to fight them. And that stress at my age can kill you. It will wear you down going in and out of court. Because some prosecutor all he wants to do is get a conviction and win and have a high rate of success. Yeah. That's all it is.
It is.
And
one bad apple can't spoil their whole life. Right? And that's why it's so important to build good relationships. People may look at you, you selling out, you doing this, right? No, I'm building a relationship.
That's right.
We got to get to the seat. Yes. Right? We're saying if they don't create a seat for you, you bring your own. Right? Right? And so we've taken many seats to the table. Also, I do a community court advocate training. I train people how to go in the courtroom and be court watchers, right? Because they know that you are watching them. Guess what? They're going to be very careful. Right. Yeah. So I've certified people to go into the courtroom and be courtroom watchers. All right. And that's me. That's my skill in court school.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Okay.
I just want to appreciate what you're doing. I think I've heard of your name. I've been knowing Mr. Gaddy when he first started his thing. But you don't have to do what you do.
Right.
And because you're gonna be good in your family. But I just appreciate when people do stuff to help other folks. That's what we're supposed to be about.
That's it.
When I joined the NAACP back in 1992, to tell y'all how old I am. But I joined. Most people join because they got a problem. I joined because I was in my early 20s. I wanted to join to be a voice for people.
Right.
The elderly and the young folk. The ones in between, But that's what I've been doing all my life. I'm down here today. I'm from Edgecombe County. Be back down here next week for a meeting. That's what I do. You know, I do it out of pocket. I do it out of pocket.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because I want to make sure people get this good, valuable information.
That's right.
You know, for so many years, some people knew it, but they wouldn't share it with us, and it's been killing us.
Right.
So I just appreciate you guys going around doing what you do.
Well, we love what we do.
I know that's right.
I used to work in the insurance.
Well, I'm
Oh,
gonna turn
did
it
you?
over to Mr. Dennis Gaddy,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So I don't know where I'm on program, but I guess I'm on program now. Yeah.
Yes. It's not here.
But I'll give you an overview of what I do. I don't think I have enough brochures there, but we'll see by the time we're done here. So I have enough, we'll see. But I'll give them to you after I finish. If I give them to you up front, guess what you'll do? You'll be reading. So I'm Dennis Gaddy. Good morning. I'm here from Raleigh. For the last 21 years, I've been the founder and executive director of Community Success Initiative, which is a 21-year-old nonprofit working with people coming home from prisons and jails who otherwise find themselves entangled in the criminal justice system. For 5.5 years, that person was me. Was in the late 90s and spent 5.5 years in prison. But I had the good fortune to have a great support system on the outside while I was there with you. My wife and I have been married 43 years, believe it or not. We have 2 daughters, we have 2 son-in-laws, and 7 grandkids.
Yes.
But it could easily go the other way.
That's right.
Right. My wife never missed a visit 5.5 years. She was always there on Saturday. Right. But when I came home, I was obligated, I guess here was a sense of obligation, because the people who were coming home behind me were not as fortunate.
That's right.
So what I did, I was in sales all my life. I'm a college graduate, a Wall Street graduate, I never practiced hard because I love sales and marketing, so that's what I did. But it got me in trouble because I did the wrong thing with that money, and I spent 5.5 years behind that choice. But when I came home with no money, no office, nothing, right? My cell phone was my office phone, right? I was secretary, janitor, everything. Yeah. But I have a passion to help people coming out of prison.
Mm.
So now, 21 years later, we have an organization. It's obviously 21 years old. Have an office in Raleigh. Pretty nice. You know, had our site visit this week with the Smith Runs Foundation, which is the foundation in North Carolina that gives money to people like me. And for the last 21 years, they've been doing that. And other organizations as well. I've had the great fortune to know Miss Mavis-Hill for a long, long time. She knew me when I was a baby in business. She didn't know me when I was a baby. She knew me when I was a baby in business. She's been supportive of the whole thing. You've heard a lot about what we do with Diana. She's also a partner of mine. And our work involves what I call 2 buckets. One is the bucket of direct services. That's the ones you probably more familiar with, because it talks about jobs, housing, education, and human services. Those are the things that people need when they come home, get back on their feet, right? And that's what we do on our day-to-day work. We have about 600 people a year walk through our doors. Probably 600 this year. It's normally around 300, but we've had a very uptick in people coming through the doors. We've never had to run an ad in our life because everything we do is relationship based, and people tell other people. And I like to say that other people, our clients, are our walking, talking billboards. Right? So, or whether it's at the shelter, whether it's on the bus line, or wherever the word gets out. And so they walk into our office in Raleigh. We have case managers now. All the case managers used to be me. We have 7 now. 5 in Raleigh and 2 in Durham. And so we also get out and do our workshops across the state and talk to audiences like yourself. And that's about 1,000 a year in that capacity. We're on the governor's Joint Reentry Task Force. Had the good fortune to have the First Lady at our office on the 29th of May And I met with her and the governor 2 weeks later at what we call our reentry simulation that we do in APAC, that we did in APAC, but we do all over the place. Be aware that the first lady that I've ever known, really be involved in reentry. Not just as the first lady of the governor, not just by words only, she digs in. When she saw me at the reentry conference earlier this year in Raleigh, she had heard about what I did through her husband, because I knew him. Other things in the past, but he's the Attorney General. So she says, I heard about you and what y'all do, and I want to come and see what you do so you can help me do it. So on the 29th of May, she came to her office, spent about 4 hours with us. And she's been all over the state to all to some of the correctional facility in MASH. She's been at the federal president's son, Butler. She really wants to dig in and help. So that feel good. Our case managers then surround that person who's walking through the door. We also have something called an assessment form that's done online before they come to us, so we know who we're looking at. They fill that out ahead of time, and maybe when they get there that day to see us, and then we sit down and start going the distance with them and other things. Then we get involved in our week-long shop at our office. It's a calendar of events that's revolving. Starting Monday, we're going to start over next Monday, same classes for people, because all people are coming in, new people. Some people work, so they can't come to all the classes the same week. So we just have it always rotating around it. And this is an example of some of the classes that we have. So we have something called Project Managing Your Life. We call it PMIL for short. It's a really super duper powerful goal setting workshop. If you line up 100 people in the country, only 3 out of 100 have ever had a set of goals to do anything. Right? So we take that really serious. We find out, we give them a piece of paper that says, list the 50 things you want to do, be, or have in the next 10 years of your life. Right? It can be in work, to get a job, to get a better job, be a better father, blah, 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 blah. And if they don't do 50 the first day, that's not the point. But they then take that with them and begin their own goal-setting journey, which we then check in with them on to see how you're doing. Say you want to get your driver's license, how are we doing on that? Right? And we're going to help them to do it. They either finding a job, finding a class to go to, or whatever. Now, we do it on a whiteboard on their desk. They have a whiteboard. That's their desk. That's sitting on the table. And they draw out boxes of things that they want to do, they'll have. And we just help them connect the dots. That's all. And it could be 6 months. It could be 3 months. It could be a year. It all depends on who they are, how desirous they are to change it around. And some people everybody comes to us different. Right? Some people come with a place to lay their head. Some people come with a job. Some people come with some money in the bank, or some money, and some come with nothing. Reason why you saw me go back there and get on this phone call a while ago is because the guy that we just helped yesterday, or began to help yesterday, we put him in a hotel for the weekend. He called me and said asked me if I have cash out, so he can get $20 to feed his kids and send them for today. Right? But that doesn't shake me. I mean, because I'm shock proof when it comes to this stuff now. But it could be him, or it could be Ernest McCoy, who's now getting an apartment next week at Casa, have his own apartment, already got a job, getting Social Security, and he's gonna be fine, right? His girls are already in Raleigh and Chapel Hill. One's a pharmacist, all that kind of thing. So for him, it's good, right? But everybody didn't come that way. So that's our situation A to Z every day with us and our case managers. About once a month, we'll try to do a check-in with them to see how they're doing. We partner with a lot of organizations that send them to other places, Dress for Success for women. I don't know if you have it or not, but they connect the dots with clothing, especially for clothing to interview for jobs. Really nice thing, right? Then we have food banks and food shelters and all over the county where we can have people send people to get food. We have funds that we'll get from the county, get things like work boots, right? Hard hats, things like that. We have some money from the county and the city to be able to pay for a hotel room for a few nights while they're still getting themselves together. So it's a combination of things. It took some time to do all this. It just fall in my lap. But as we begin to grow and attract some funding, we're able to do a wider array of things. So in that regard, that could go on longer or shorter, depends on what the person's needs are. Right? Our second class is, these are all under our direct services piece, is something called GPS for Success. We kind of made that kind of interesting because a GPS kind of something that you plan and take you from where you are to where you want to be. So we have the GPS for Success. It's a class that works with your mind. It's an introduction to changing your beliefs to change our reality. I teach a class on 15 principles of success as part of what I do. And the first principle for that class is that you become what you think about. Right? Become what you think about. Really, the mind ain't got no sense. It really ain't. It does what it's programmed to do. Right? And you the programmer.
Right.
Right? So don't say it's the mind says, she's thinking about jumping off a cliff, so I guess we need to go find one. You know, that kind of thing, right? So you have to be careful. But on the flip, you know, I'm reminded of the story about the two twin boys that had an alcoholic dad. And one of the sons grew up and became an alcoholic. The second one grew up and became a doctor. He said, the first one, they said, son, how did you become an alcoholic? He said, you don't understand. My dad was an alcoholic. Right? Then they asked the person who was a doctor, they said, how did you become a doctor? He said, you don't understand. My dad was an alcoholic. Yeah, it's all about thinking.
Right.
It's not about the situation necessarily all the time, right? So we try to change that thinking. Show them how to do it. I'm a believer in something called affirmations. Programming your mind around a certain thing. I give out books called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. I give it to my people who look like they really want it bad, right? It's a book I read while in prison because growing up I became a severe stutterer. Right? And I taught myself how to stutter. I affirm myself. I speak very clearly. I'm a master of clear speech. Right? Now I get paid to talk. See? So it just changes. It flips. It changes. Right? So this is kind of what this class does. Aligning with positive situations and opportunities in all areas of your life. Write down and share examples of affirmations and possible confirmations. Right? Then one of my favorite classes, because our class is on Thursdays, is called Ready to Work. It's a very intense class taught by Bob Robinson, talking about what are the things you need to shape yourselves around in order to find a job and to keep a job. Right? But my daddy would say this. He said, son, if you had to get 3 jobs in the same year, it ain't a job. He said, it ain't your job. You need to change something about you. Right? So this talks about life skills, analyze your income, list your expenses, job skills, job searching, interviewing, research employers, what it takes to maintain employment once you're hired, create an effective resume, make a to-do list every day. Right? Pretty intense stuff. We provide a flash drive, a free flash drive to store your resume and your budget. Right? We, this is one of the things I do. If I pop in and introduce myself, I make sure that they got the correct email. Not holler at me at theclub.com. That ain't gonna make it. That's the one that's going in the trash can. And you don't even get a call.
Yeah, right.
Drop it like it's hot at AOL. That ain't gonna work. What about your name at Yahoo?
Yeah.
Right? So little things that make big differences, right? And when PNC Bank comes in, they're our banking partner on Friday, one Monday a month. They come in and share financial literacy. A lot of people come through our classes and they messed up their checking account from tore up from the floor. Right? And nobody give them a checking account. And they got to get their check cash in place, which is 3% of your check. Right? So PNC Bank does it. They also fund us as well. But they come in and share a financial literacy program called Foundations to Money Management.
Not doing anything with anything about taxes.
Well, we can get you somebody. We don't do it. But we can partner with somebody like Same Voice Credit Union does.
Self-employed, they
I don't know that. Oh, you know they don't. Okay. Well, we'd investigate and see. Perhaps find somebody, maybe a CPA who can get a discount. So, but so that with PNC, once you finish that class, you got a certificate, and you take it to our branch, and you say, I want to get my checking account started back. They will mention you and help you with it. And they know you're serious because you went to our class. You got a certificate in your hand. Right?
y'all do all of that for businesses too.
Well, yeah, in that ready to work class, we got people start their business. So yes, ma'am. Todd Robinson, he's a banker. He's really good.
That's that week class.
Yes, ma'am. He's second Thursday.
Oh.
Every Thursday. Now you hear the same thing if you go every Thursday. But if you want to talk to him about a particular thing, it's several times a week. Yeah. Anytime y'all want to come and see this thing in motion, 10 o'clock on any day during the week. To 12. Just give us a call with me, you come in. I think I'm gonna get there. I think I have enough everybody. If not, I'll give you my name and mine. And my phone number, just for the text. Fridays. The Friday class, one of my favorites. Here's what I have on this first. Strategies for managing everyday stress. But we changed that because it used to be a big old word that we didn't like called anger management. Who wants to get on the good class? Right. So we say, let's positive that thing a little bit.
Yeah.
So we did, and that's in that class at the very top, talk about down in corporate. Now the Friday class is my favorite one, not because I teach it sometimes, but because it's taught by people who come through our class. Talk about a person who's taken that class. Talk about a person who's used to sit in the same seats that those people now sitting in who are in our class. Again, people hear you different. They know you share the same story. So the class we call is How I Turn My Setback into a Comeback. Right?
Okay.
People come and share. Yeah, they come in on Fridays and share their stories. Is what they do, and talk about how they turned it around. The two people I want to highlight this morning and talk about them. One is a guy by the name of William Elmore. He and his mom have a TED Talk they do now. He had a 25 to life sentence. He didn't have an expiration date, didn't know when he was going to come home if ever. His mom, coincidentally, used to be my supervisor on my work release job. So I knew him before he knew me because she used to talk about him all the time at work. I didn't know him from a can of paint when she was talking about him. But once he got out, he came home after 22 years. His mom had to talk him down from suicide 3 times. He said, well, I can't do all this time. I cannot do all this time. He came home, formed himself a powerful landscaping business. So what's it say? He's probably at my house right now, just 10 minutes, because they cut my grass. They keep it all lined up, trees, frames, all that. You got the keys to my house. Jackie Gadden does not give anybody the keys to her house, I can tell you. He couldn't go his place. Right. Powerful, powerful, powerful story. He's written a book called Prison from the Inside Out. That's what he's talking about. And then, of course, there's Janet Taylor. Janet Taylor Gwynn now, out of Winston-Salem. Janet Taylor spent most of her adult life in the streets as a prostitute. She said when she would leave town on vacation, she'd come back on probation. Right? Every time she left the jail, they said, we'll leave the light on for you. Right? If you hear her talk right now, she's a minister, she's an evangelist. And she said the last time she heard we'll leave the light on for you, she said that in back in 27. Oh, right. She's a minister. I've written 4 books. Sleeping with the Enemy, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And she's a minister of the church in Winston-Salem, her husband now. And my mom was visiting her when she did the first service, whatever it was. She's very powerful. So you want to get some stories like that, come up on Fridays, 10 to 12. We'll have people. Curtis Taylor, good guy about it. He's
Where exactly are y'all?
I'm on Capitol Boulevard in a place called Tillery Place. At the NC Works Building.
Yeah, I used to live in Jeremiah.
Okay. We've got an office in there. But let's see what else I'm gonna talk about. My stories of, I told you that it was I spent 5.5 years in prison without a write-up. I just didn't think it made good sense to go to prison and then go to prison right there. That just didn't make sense to me. I mean, going to the hole was not an option for me. I said, I'm already in prison. Why do I want to go to another prison inside the prison? So I need to share that with you. But so what I say is
seasons or your body type. So the soups that you drink in summer are going to be different.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I had the good fortune to work with the chaplain, James Hills, at the time, who allowed me to utilize some of the strengths I already had in teaching and training, personal development training, which I did. I've been doing for 40 years now. And so I taught a class while in prison. And it began the rumblings of me doing the work that I do now by starting an organization to help people in prison. And so when I came home, like I teach my brothers who are coming home with dads, I said, son, don't run back to the house. Run back to the house like you big dad and you back home. I said, he's on back to the house. Right. Because while I was gone, my side of the sink in my bathroom became my wife's clothes hanger. Right? It's funny. It's funny. So the thing about it is, but the same lady who did that, see, because I never paid a phone bill when I was away. I never picked up the kids at daycare or at their after-school games while I was gone. Right? So when I came home, Jackie thought I was going to get a job, I guess, and I didn't know what I was going to do for real, but I knew what I wanted to do, so what I was doing while I was in, by helping guys raise them home. And we worked with men and women, by the way. So when I came home and I began doing this work, she said, well, I guess this is what he's going to do. So this sister went to her retirement account and pulled out me something to get started with. Now, she did tell me this. She said, "Now, Negro, I need my money back." So I've had good fortune to be able to make that real. And so we're doing fine. She's retired now. Like I said, I married for 43 years. We met on blind date 1980 and got married 1983. So she tells me behind every successful man is a stressed out woman.
Yes.
But she's good. She's good. We have two beautiful daughters, two great son-in-laws, 7 grandchildren, and we all enjoy each other. So less than everybody but easily don't go away. Can you pull up a website? Okay, pull up communitysuccess.org. It's our website. Share a couple of clips. How many people have heard of a chef called Chef Jeff? Chef Jeff. Chef Jeff did a lot of time in the 80s running crack cocaine in California and Oakland. And now he learned to cook while in prison. Then he became the chef at Bellagio's in Las Vegas. And he does personal development speaking as well. I've known him for a long time. To show you a clip of him at our last conference that he came to speak. That's one thing I share. A couple short clips. Second. You don't need to swim. Okay, it's okay. Seriously. Yes. Double. You put that every front. Anyway, if you can't find it, you can go to communitysuccess.org in your phone or your laptop at home. And it has all the stuff we done. Pictures with the governor, pictures with him and First Lady, Spectrum videos on me talking about who's asking about this question as well though. You, yeah, great. Okay. Every Monday, no, first Monday in every month, also from 10 to 12, we have legal aid come to our office and do an expungement workshop. Now, what that does, it allows them as lawyers to come in and talk to people whom we've already pre-engaged with, and they think they may be eligible. Okay? We'll send the names into the lawyers before the class so they can determine whether or not the people are in fact eligible. If they are, they're invited to come that Monday to class. And here's the current law about expungements. I didn't talk about our advocacy work on that as well. When I first started this work, there was no word called expungements. If you have a record, you always have a record. So part of our work at the legislature over the years has been to fight those kinds of things and bring up laws and get some laws passed to give people a second chance. So we're saying, like statistics say, after 7 years, if a person hasn't reoffended from his last charge, he's no more likely to reoffend than somebody who's never committed a crime. So the expungement law that we started, because it was non-existent at the time, what the current law is, after 7 years, it's just in North Carolina now. That's what the law applies to. After 7 years, for nonviolent misdemeanors, you can get all of them expunged. Where we have a fight, the legislature is, as far as felonies go, they only give us one right now, also nonviolent. We're fighting for it to be inclusive because after 10 years, probably would take 10 years to do that. If after 7 years, a person's not going to recommit a crime, probably. So we're going to be fighting that. And our biggest obstacle is the district attorney's department. The division of district attorneys, I think they have associations. So we're fighting that. But at least we have a shot. And the lawyers come that Monday, first Monday in every month, and talk about the possibility of you getting guilty. See if you don't. And then we've already determined that before you probably meet with them. So that's good, and that's one of the things we've done. Ban the box. We're able to get that done in most counties across the state. Ban the box says that you will not find a question on job application that you have to answer regarding your past. Taking it off. Now, this is for county jobs and state jobs, nothing for private jobs yet, but we're headed that way. Because we believe that it doesn't guarantee you a job when you have an interview, but it does enhance your chance of getting it. If you have some face time with an employer, that means something. They get to know who you are, you get to know who they are, whatever. But most people who have to explain themselves on the application because of the history, they hardly ever get a call back from the job. So how unfair is that, especially for African American males? How unfair is that? Right? You don't even have a shot. So that law allows people to at least have an interview, and in a lot of cases, be a job that we know that people work never had because they never even got a chance to have an interview. All right. So we got ban box. We've got the expungement law that we're working on. Yes, sir.
Back to the expungement. I just wanted to know you guys' process and what you guys do, because I don't know, you probably are familiar with former state rep Milton Toby Fitch.
Sure.
Right. So he has a workshop.
He does.
And I went through that workshop. This one-stop shop. You go, you bring in your certified record, and they knock it out just like that. He actually has people that currently work in the federal government to do this. And of course, it's free. Yeah. I've been trying to spread the word.
Good.
But
I know some of the labor lawyers who go up there with him.
Right. So I mean, and he's telling me to tell people. I mean, you can't beat that. You have a record, you can get it expunged for free. Yeah. You can show up and get it taken care of in one day. Yeah. And one thing about me, I just don't like to talk about stuff. I go through it. So I have that testimony. I went through the process myself.
That's great.
So I know it works and it's free.
So that's another lawyer you're doing the right thing.
Right.
So as a matter of fact, when we began the work, we began by having the DA, clerk of court, the judge, and the people who do, and the lawyers in the room at the same time to do the same thing every day. So when they leave, they're walking out. But it's expungement in their hand, signed by the judge who was in the building. Right. So I appreciate your comment, brother. Yes, sir. All right. Any comments, questions? Okay, get close. Get close. Go success. Community success. No, it's on. Not succession. No. Showing results for community succession. All right, go to my top. Just go to communitysuccess.org. There you go. Got it.
The end of it.
Okay. That's it. There we are. Okay, so go now. Other that, I did the assessment on this form I was telling you about on our site. And you can fill out before they can get the skills to explain who they are, what their needs are, what they already have. That should be probably now because I'm probably. So if you think about it, okay, scroll down. So the first one is personal information, who you are. Okay. Do you have a driver's license? Are you registered to vote? Are you a citizen? Serving military, etc. Race, gender, public stuff. Okay, then it's the work history. You don't have to get it. That goes to get your work history, what you've done. Your needs assessment. What are some of your needs? What do you need? Hit that. Yeah. You see that. All right. So, as you begin the written training process, you first need to identify the issues that you may face in the training from the community, the areas listed below can interfere with your success in establishing a stable life. Be as honest as you can. Have an appropriate job skills. It's not a problem for me. It's a possible problem for me. I definitely need help with this. Education, it's not a problem. Possible problem. Definitely a problem. Food, etc., etc. So we'll get this. If they'll hit submit at the end, it comes straight to us. If you have to worry about fax that for us, scan it to us, or anything like that. Okay. Get back. Go back to home. Yeah. Okay, scroll down to Chef Jets. Scroll. And this is Chef Jeff here, and he had a little video he did with me there. I don't know, it could be the speed or whatever. This is the developer talking. He talked about us at preschool. Get that. Just all right, anyway.
I am Chef.
Oh, did you? Anyway, I've got some slow. But he's on you get home, you get having your speed. You check all that out. So I'll take questions.
I'm for second chances community.
Okay. Thank you, Chad. Okay. Yeah, he's more renowned. Yeah, it's on Food Network, he's on Food Network, and I try to see him where he's at. I try to see it. Learn from him. But nowadays, I don't know. I don't know, but I feel like I did. I've known about 20 years. I've known. But anyway, so you find a lot of rich stuff on the site there. But I'll take any questions, comments that you have, or that I can answer, if you have any.
Do you guys think you'll ever get to the point where, say like right now, you say you have a place in Raleigh,
Okay.
where you'll have something here like locally or region?
Right. Do what you say?
Do you think you guys are going to grow? Because right now you just said Raleigh and Durham, correct?
No, I do stuff all over the place. Goldsboro, Asheville, not necessarily things we put together, but things we partner with that other people come to. Doc Barber, when he was in Goldsboro, we started our relationship with him, and now they're there because we're known there. But yeah, we'll have a workshop in a heartbeat, conference in a heartbeat. We did like a fundraiser we did Goldsboro about 6 months ago. 150 people there. We did our 20th anniversary in Raleigh last May. 350 people there. But yeah. And then if you think about putting something together like what we're doing today, I'm a big believer in partnerships. Sure. And we have so yeah. Anybody else? Comments, questions? Let me give you my name and website. And text phone number. I don't think I have given it out.
Yeah, but what they can do is take a picture on their phone.
Huh?
If they can take a picture of it on their phone, if you don't have enough.
Sure, but how do I do that?
I'm saying they can do it on their phone. Take a picture of it on their phone if you don't have enough.
Okay. Well,
That's what I do anyway. I don't never take the phone. I take a picture, put it in my phone, so I have it.
okay, where are they gonna take the picture from? That's what I'm saying.
The brochure. Take a picture of the brochure.
Oh, pass the brochure around. I got you. I'm first grade on this. My daughter's sixth grade. For my part-time folks is our daughter. She's just got a PhD at Georgia Mason, and she's doing things all over the country, Dartmouth, Kentucky, and University of Tennessee. She's doing speaking talks on race, DEI. That's her deal. She's really good. Appreciate it. Take the picture, pass it on, I guess.
If you give out, the things to give out. You got enough?
Yeah, I may have enough. I think it's close. It's close.
Okay, in fact.
And if you want to get with me, you can still write my name and number. So,
I'm gonna give it.
Yeah, I've got a guy who's working on my QR code, so I don't have that information. And my number to text me is 919-614-2369. You text me that number and say you got a question later on after the day. Say you know somebody who needs some help statewide or in your area. Call me, text me. 919-614-2369. Text is the best way to get me. 614-2369. That's Dennis Gaddy. All righty. Ms. Mavis?
Yes, sir.
I have come to a proper place to stop, I think. So whatever you need to do now, I can sit down.
Good morning, everyone. Afternoon. I have a chance to meet this morning. This will conclude our driver's license restoration workshop, and we will get ready to go into our gun violence workshop. But first of all, I would like to say Thank you to all of you who came out for the driver's license restoration workshop. If you want to get more involved with Tyrrell County Community Development Corporation, which serves primarily Tyrrell, and Washington, and a few other counties, please feel free. I will provide you with my information. We also have here in the region the Tyrrell High Washington Second Chance Alliance Reentry Council. You heard Ms. Diana Powell say earlier this morning about those who asked, had anybody been to the advocacy day? Well, we try to have a bus and take people from this end of the state. Advocacy day is every 2 years, Diane? Okay. We were successful, and thank you to my wonderful board member, Mr. Stanley James, who provided us with transportation to be able to attend Second Chance Advocacy Day. So keep in mind, 2 years from now, we'll be making the journey again. We had a wonderful time there on the lawn in front of the Commons, in front of the legislature, and people had the opportunity to go in and to talk to their particular representatives, not only about second chances, but about whatever they needed to talk about to them to share the issues that we have in Eastern North Carolina. I feel that Eastern North Carolina does not get its fair share of resources. I feel that there's a lot of work for us to do. So I thank you, and we'll break right now so we can transition into the second part of our session. And let's give Ms. Diana Powell a wonderful hand of applause. She did an amazing job. I learned something new, even though I didn't need to. I kind of know how some people felt that said they had speeding tickets or whatever, because my earlier days, I probably wasn't too far away from needing my driver's license. But thank you. And we'll break now just for about 5 minutes, and you'll be able to get lunch, and we'll continue on. Thank you. Oh, and we do have T-shirts in the back. I forgot to mention, this event today is sponsored. We have funding from Black Voters Matter. And the regional coordinator will be here before the session ends, the second session, to bring you greetings and more information about what we're doing. Thank you. Has everybody signed up? Because it's going to be very important that you sign in. Very important. So make sure your name is on this list and I can read it, because you may be getting something extra in the mail. No. Everything this table free except for my laptop. And my phone. Oh, and my phone. Yeah, all the t-shirts, the buttons, the wristbands, the pants, all of this is free. That's the most common size. Now they're really big. Not as big as I am. I can get in a long guard. And if you would, your name is on the list, right? Okay, well then I'll let you do this one. Okay. This is right here. So only you probably want, I don't have any two extras, so that's not real. I don't run out of all extra. This one, large. But that's what I told you, right?
Yeah.
But now, you got one like this, right?
I didn't get one.
I get none.
How you doing, man?
Good, how you
Okay,
doing?
scan that
See you
QR
in,
code and fill out the information.
Raleigh, back, man.
Scan that QR code with the phone and fill out the
I
information.
heard it before, but good hearing you again.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Just, give me a text, and I'll call you right back.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I got one of them.
I'm real fortunate what you said. How you doing?
I'm not gonna do that this year. I work with it, you know, I drive for it, and it gets me on late.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I know it.
Fill out that paper, I'm gonna contact you. Right.
Even when you, like I do substance the
Please
other day,
fill out,
just
please
want to
fill
go
out
straight
the,
home, man, just kick back.
please fill out the evaluation survey and leave it with us. We need that. Okay.
That little guy, they shot the clinic that I was supposed to, I was a day off, but it's kicked in, round rouse. Basketball. It's a little guy, he's coach at Tyrrell, Jeff, the little basketball coach. Yeah, he's my little nephew, then I Googled him up. He was on Good Morning America, Just about made this, he got a YouTube video, my son, my nephew said, he began reading technical files, and we were getting real technical call. I said, what? He said, yeah. I said, he got me up of things. And they showed me about 6 years. Good. He shows up. Oh, I don't think.
But if he got that, that opens that. That's a change to two different students. If I had,
So you at the new school?
Yeah, well,
some of them, right, I can walk that way. Okay.
the school started, I started. I was on a school, but my mom fell sick. And I don't have to keep up with that stuff.
Well, it wasn't, believe me, it was definitely not my fault. But my fault was, Joseph had been off today.
I'm in a situation. Not yet. I just heard it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay, hang on.
Okay, we're gonna
I'm just
transition.
nervous with my class.
I need you guys up front.
You want
I
us to
need
move?
you guys out here. I need y'all out here somewhere.
Somewhere. Don't say.
And I'm trying to
do we need to move? I think I'm gonna come back.
And it's not that you see that's free. There's a free one, there's a free one.
You know us.
Yep. And y'all got my head hanging on my.
About 6 months after I get.
So do we need to move? So you're fine.
I want to make sure that's what's.
You know.
Yeah, I know why.
You never know
Yeah,
from
yeah,
one day
yeah,
to
I
one
know.
day. And my thing is,
You okay?
Oh, you still active?
You see that picture? Whatever. You get a chance, I just want papers at the head table. When you get a chance. You take your picture right now. And then we'll go to
That's what I was doing.
While you're enjoying life, I want to acknowledge my board members that are here. Please either raise your hand or whatever, all my Carroll County CDC board members. Okay, yes, sir. Can't make this happen without.
Hey, Diana.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some, hold on, Miss Diane, you know, that's a second. All right. Did you get my in?
Yeah.
Like these things. Okay. But it's no effort. Chicken, onion, oh, you don't like them? Oh, okay.
That is gonna be a moment.
Exactly. Chicken, onion, mustard, I should have got plain people. Never go wrong with that. Did everybody sign in? Like I said, if you don't sign in. Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out who that lady was waiting. She from the Columbia station. You should said, "We're gonna do is go with the shirt shoot." Goes 3D.
Okay, I'm ready to stop this live and start right back over.